Good morning. It's March the 17th, 2016, a post-FOMC announcement day. That usually leads to follow-through activity from the post-FOMC announcement action, usually directionally. And we see it in treasuries. We also saw it in the E-mini, but both may have found resistance in the overnight session. Only China's equity markets are higher overnight. Japan, the Europe, and the E-mini all sold. And right now the E-mini is well off of its highs, trading at 2008. Probably the biggest news overnight: gold, crude oil, and treasuries are up sharply overnight. And equities are lower, except for China. The yuan is much higher. The dollar is down. Like I said, gold and crude are well off the lows. So we have some sorting out to do. And looking at the news this morning, jobless claims 270. That's the default number. We see that damn near every week is the estimate. Philly Fed, this one can stir things up, minus 1.4. The Empire Manufacturing Index, they are not correlated. They happen to be two states next to each other. Was well above its forecast for minus 11. Current account balance, minus 115 billion bucks. The deficit spending continues. LEI at plus 2. LEI really isn't followed anymore because of the interest rate component. JOLTS, $5.57 million. Could play a little bit. Kind of a roundabout way to get to where the state of the job market is. And then natural gas inventories, minus 9B. So jobless claims and Philly Fed will hit the market simultaneously. Then second would be JOLTS, in my opinion. The key factor today is going to be the direction of the E-mini. If it continues to sell, treasuries can rally. And treasuries had been heavily sold into yesterday's FOMC on the idea that the Fed might raise interest rates. So on a relief rally, treasuries have a ways to go to the upside. I think the easiest trade to see is failure to take out 17. Quite often we come in and we see that the top is set in V, W, or X in the overnight session. And the reason for that is that you don't have as many players, you don't have the liquidity, and the markets just tend to run until there absolutely are no more buyers. So I think this market needs to set back first, then come back up and retest 17. And if 17 holds a second time, we can get short. But I like the long side first. The idea that the E-mini might sell a little bit more this morning, knock the weak length out. So buy one will be 5 to 9, buy two 29 to 01. On the sell side, we're going to sell failure to take out 16 to 20, 23 to 27. I must be part Arab. Sometimes I write backwards. Looking at the 30-year, the knob spread came roaring back overnight. And this is a rocket spread. You can make a lot of money on that. Similar situation, if we can't take out 63.08.12, this market can sell. So 7 to 11, sell one. 19 to 23, sell 2. On the buy side, we have all these single prints and down, so 21.25, buying into that single prints. And then 5 to 9, trying to pick up the breakout right over here. Buy 2. And a lot of it will just be dependent on which way the E-mini goes. Looking at gold, trying to find gold to look at it. Very, very strong market, very, very strong close yesterday, and that's why the people run to gold after the Fed left things unchanged and pretty conciliatory or dovish statement thereafter. Because of the problems going around the globe, and because of the fact that all governments are borrowing to spend right now. So here we are at 72, so 72.75, sell 1. 79.81, sell 2. On the buy side, the breakout came from 64, so 65, 63, buy 1. And then London lows at 59, 61 to 59, buy 2. Turkey was back in the news overnight, and they're declaring teachers, journalists, the media, anybody that comments against the government, sounds like China and North Korea, doesn't it, as possible seditious and liable to jail. It's what all dictators do, and Erdogan came in, was elected. We see this happen all the time. That Chavez, I don't even know the name of the new guy in Venezuela, starts with the letter M. Ecuador. It was in Argentina until people got sick and tired of the Kirchners. These people get elected, and then they go about trying to stay in power. And it's human nature. I mean, it's just the way we're wired. And Erdogan is trying to take Turkey from a secular Islamic state to a full-blown Islamic state, and obviously he's going to make himself the head of it. And you see this populism. I mean, it's happened in the United States. They get behind personalities, they get behind charismatic people that know how to work the crowds. And people are tired of the conditions. They believe in the hope promises, the empty promises that are made, but it sounds good. Everybody gets on board, and then they end up with a dictator. And that's the danger. And quite frankly, that's a lot of the criticism against Trump is that we're bringing the same type of personality into the White House that we've just had in Barack Obama, where it's all about them. And that hasn't been the way that our country has prospered over the past. So, but Erdogan is every day cements his power, and it'd be hard not to describe him as a budding or emerging dictator. Okay, looking at the euro, what it does with Russia withdrawing from the Middle East. There's a power vacuum there. Turkey has not been fighting ISIS or ISIL. They've been fighting the Kurds. They let the United States do a token bombing from Turkey. So to keep that token bombing, the United States doesn't say anything about Turkey's incursions into Syria, going after Kurds, not after Assad. And everybody's happy the status quo is maintained. Okay, looking at the euro, another huge rally overnight. I thought we might see some selling overnight, but the dollar got whacked. The euro is up So our 114 to 115 area is where best resistance is, and you can see right now the resistance starts at 37.75, at 13.75, so that's sell 1. 14 even, sell 2. On the buy side, last rotate down was 60, so get this break right here at 36. We got a single print at 27, so 20 to 30 buy 1, and then 130, 113 even buy 2. Okay, Nancy got her $40. That was pretty prescient, Nancy, making a call for $40 a couple of weeks ago. And I had trouble last night. $13, $17, $18 is tomorrow. So we may, we'll roll 19, $20th. I imagine we have just rolled into the May contract with expiration tomorrow. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll come back and we'll look at crude. We'll let all that rebuild. Well, that's not the way I can do that. I'll have to do this as we speak. Well, this is what, St. Patrick's Day, and it's probably it's right up there with Cinco de Mayo, although the excess I think is probably worse on St. Patrick's Day than it is on Cinco de Mayo. The express purpose for the young males in society is to go out and get faced, which is a pretty dumb idea when you think about it. But young men full of testosterone do a lot of stupid things. So we have that to look forward to today, or this afternoon. And one of the cities that really gets after St. Patrick's because of their Irish contingency is New York City. And the exchanges like to start drinking over lunch, go back to the floor, close the markets down, and then drink thereafter. So it's a pretty big day in New York City, which is gold, the softs, and crude oil, energy. Okay, here we are at 40.55, 40.75, 41, sell 1. This high volume number up here at 40.62, so 25 to 50, sell 2. On the buy side, we've got this gap down here at 39. Eventually that'll fill, so I think once this thing rolls off tomorrow that the trade will definitely go to the short side, but a structural buy right down here would be in the 39, 39 and a quarter area. And then we'll make stops below 40, 39.75. Get maybe some convergence today for buy 1. Buy 2 will be against 39. and to the E-mini. Okay, back in the old days when they used to have a negotiated opening where you'd have a large group of locals who had the capital and the standing and the guts and the savvy to do it, they would have a negotiated opening where every buy and sell order at the market was absorbed by this group. And if there was net buying, the market would trade up a little bit. Then it would sell. If there was net selling, it would trade down a little bit. Then it would rally back. And that expression, taking the weak longs out, taking the weak shorts out, that's where that really developed. So my feeling was yesterday that we would find selling in Globex that would take the market back down and test support. And the obvious place for supports is high volume numbers. So 2000 is a round number. We have that high volume number in the 7 to 8 area. And then 25 is resistance. Now looking at the option play, option expiration tomorrow, the play in the E-mini yesterday was the 2050, 2030, 2040, and 2050 calls, with 2050 the biggest number. In puts it was 2000, then it dropped to 1950. So 2000 to 2025 is probably a pretty good range. So strategically trying to sell the 2025 area, maybe a little bit higher, and then buy against the buck is where we are right now. So our first buy, you can see this V period low right here is 550, maybe a little bit lower. We've got this ledge at 8. So buying 2000, 2005, the question mark at 8, be buy 1, and we're back to our 95, 90 for buy 2. But I think buying against 2000 is a pretty good structural play. On the sell side, the spill from Globex was at 16, so 15 to 20, sell 1, 25 to 30, sell 2. And jobless claims, 270. Default number. Don't pay a lot of attention to it. Philly Fed could get some action. They come out at the same time. Minus 1.4. That number could come in higher if it matches what happened with the Empire Manufacturing Survey number. Current account balance. No one will pay any attention to it. But we are definitely printing money, as are most central banks. LAI at plus 0.2. Jolts 5.57. And natural gas inventories minus 9B. It's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. If crude continues to sell, probably will take the E-mini down with it a bit, but I don't think the E-mini can break because of option expiration. Famous last words, right? But that's the way I see it for right now. I will be with you in a bit.